Between the other buildings, and an enormous fireball that must have been 300 feet across was visible immediately. A secondary explosion, I think.
There's intimidation over there to me. And that's what this is. They everyday life, and they mad.
Proves that the official police story is indeed a lie. Medical reports prove
Peace family, peace Moors. Welcome to a Moor Start. Before we get started, I would like to thank you guys for tuning in. I would like to take the time to thank Moor TV for providing us with this platform to be able to speak to each other. This broadcast will be aired on all Moor TV platforms, including AT&T Uverse, TV Max, Phonoscope, as well as our international partners abroad. Okay, we have a serious issue that's facing us in this country. Serious issues of things that are constantly being repeated, not only what just took place in Louisiana, but what's taking place across the country. Okay, and one of the things that we have to do is we have to address these issues from a non-reactive standpoint. Okay, non-reactive meaning that we're going to be proactive but not reactive to our circumstances. And the only way to do that is to understand what's taking place in this country. There's a reason why we're starting to see more and more of these things on the news. There's a reason why these things are constantly being projected into our subconscious on a day-to-day basis. Okay, in order for me to bring about chaos and destruction, I must first get you to tune in to chaos and destruction. I must first get you to manifest chaos and destruction. And out of chaos, I can bring in order. Okay, so understand that law governs everything, family. And with that being said, I would like to have the discussion for us to build today, okay? We need to not protest. There's no more protests. There's no more time for marches, okay? These things are done, okay? What's taking place in this country has strictly to do with lack of nationality and lack of knowledge of self. Because if you knew who you are and you had a knowledge of self, then you would do for your own. Your politics would reflect in the community. The officers who patrol and govern the community would look like me and you. But these things aren't taking effect because we don't control our economic situation. We don't control our political situation. And it's due to lack of nationality. It's due to lack of understanding of who we are as a people and as a nation. We are not black. Understanding that black is not a people. There are no black people in this country. All people derive from a nation. They have nationalities. So the lies that are constantly being projected to our people on a mass scale through celebrities, through the mainstream media, was constantly trying to remind us of this condition and circumstances that our people in. We're rising above that. And what's on the attack right now, what's the real agenda, is consciousness. It's the massive amounts of people that are waking up on a global scale. Our people, melanated people that are coming into their own, that are starting to realize all the lies that have been told in these history books, that are starting to realize that nationality is the order of the day. That is what's under attack. So we have a clear understanding that we must be at peace. Not peace with just peace with each other, but peace with everything. With everything. And it's not that we denounce what is taking place in the mainstream media with our people. It's just we want to take a proactive approach. How many more Eric Garners do we need? How many more Mike Browns do we need before we really start to get active and see what's going on in this country? Okay, the officer that just did this thing in Louisiana, he won't be brought up in charges because as black people, you have no rights. There are no constitutional rights that apply to black people. Black people have civil rights, and those civil rights are subject to privileges. They're not rights. Anything that can be given to you can also be taken away from you. Okay, so we have to understand, number one, who we are. as a people and as a nation, and our standing and our status in law. Okay, this has strictly to do with law. If this officer at any point in that time during that tussle felt like his life was threatened, if he felt just the key word and the language in these statutes and codes that they write and change every year has to do with if he felt that his life was in danger. So not if what we saw, which is not he was in danger, but if he felt he was in danger, then it justifies him taking that action. But we can't be a reactive people. We must be proactive. What's proactive? Proactive is when you look at the city and the government where the Mike Brown was killed, the people in that government didn't reflect the people in the community. It didn't reflect the people in the community. I think they had 1 or 2 melanated officers on that force. There's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that when you don't take advantage of your politics and your governments. When you fail to govern yourself, that means that you're at a lower status in society. So we need to organize. We need to come together. Boycotting is one of the solutions. It is not the solution. There is one issue that's more important than this presidential campaign. It's more important than any issue in America. It's more important than anything going on right now, and that is nationality. The so-called black people, Negro, coloreds, blacks in this country must come now and proclaim their nationality before the governments and the people of the world. You must be who you say you are. Because if you continue to cling to the names and titles that allude to slavery, you're saying that you have no rights. Dred Scott was a person who sued in the Supreme Courts for his rights, but because he clinged to being black and all of these titles that allude to slavery, they decided that he can't have rights. And you are not black people because there are no black people attached to the human family. You need to understand who you are and your status in this country. We are Moors, of Moorish descent. We hail from a nation of people. Every people in this country, even when they come from Africa, they have a nation that they come from. So we're asking our people, what is the nation that you come from? You can't be African American because Africa is a continent. It doesn't place you with the landmass. That's for it places you outside of law. It places you right back in the same category as black, as Negro, as color. Notice how the names keep changing, but you still don't get any rights attached to that. So this is what we got to do. We got to start having an awakening and really start affecting our economics and our politics and our government around us. We need to pull out right now. Look at all the companies and all the businesses in that area. Start a mass organize within the community. So what we're doing is we're going to take a proactive approach. We're asking for people in that area who are interested in learning about their nationality and proclaiming their nationality and coming into their own to start reaching out to our people so we can get them the correct information. You cannot wait for a verdict or not wait to try to indict somebody in order to get justice. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Anytime love, truth, peace, freedom are violated, justice must take its course. But in order for justice to take its course, you must be who you are supposed to be. Because I just told you, anyone who alludes to the names of Negro, black, colored, African American, you have no rights. You have no rights. You have no rights or no standing or no status in society. But whatever the mass population or the people see fit to bestow them upon you. It does not matter how many Oprahs we give you. It does not matter how many, Michael Jordans we give you. Because if you don't have nationality, you don't have anything. We are not black people. We're not black people. We didn't come off slave ships. You have to understand that many of our people were already here. We were here before Columbus. This is the truth that majority of the people don't want you to come into. This is why they keep redoing movies like Roots and these other slave movies to get you to understand or try to link you back to a slave ship so you don't come into your own and proclaim your nationality and proclaim the land. What happens when the tenant wakes up and realizes that he's the landlord? They always say that slavery, like they built all these slave ships in America. Tell them to show you one slave ship that was built here in America that went to Africa and brought slaves. Who was enslaving you? You have to start asking intelligent questions. Intelligent questions is what intelligent people do. and we organize, and we don't wait for anybody to do anything for us. We don't need the law enforcement to do anything for us to seek justice. We have to organize ourselves. We don't want to march. We don't want to protest. No more hands up. No more Black Lives Matter. Stop. They have already proven that Black lives don't matter. So there makes no sense for you to give any money to any Black Lives Matter organization. It makes no sense for you to continue to follow these black leaders. There's only one order of the day, and that's nationality. What is your nationality? Because nationality is not only going to be the glue that binds us, it's going to be the force that we move behind to govern ourselves. Now, Martin Luther King did one thing when he was, not one thing, I'm sorry guys, Martin Luther King did many great things, but one of the great things that he did was his ability to organize and affect the political structure. Meaning that when he protested the march on the bus, that was nationwide. It shut down bus stations. It affected the economic policy so much that a decision had to come in and be made. You're suffering for one reason: economics. You don't control your economic situation. You don't control your politics. And one hand you call the police, and the second hand you against the police. What happened to the officers being the same people from the community that they serve? What happened to the officers knowing the names of the families in every, community that they went in? You have to understand what law is. You're supposed to be law-abiding citizens, but no one ever showed you what law is. They never taught you law. The Constitution only applies to citizens, not to Negroes, blacks, and coloreds. You don't want civil rights. No intelligent people file for civil rights. We don't want civil rights. You want constitutional rights, which you have. Since the Constitution has never been changed, all you had to do was proclaim your nationality. That's what's missing from us. And it's nothing that anyone can give us. You have to understand, freedom can't be given to you. Harriet Tubman said one of the greatest things once she summed up in her quotes. She said she could have freed more slaves if they only knew that they were slaves. Proving that slavery at that standpoint was now psychological, because the slave no longer knew who they were. So they became colored, they became Negro, they became black, they became Afro-American, and they became today African-American, which none of these names tie you to your nationality. And nationality is rooted in who you are as a people. You have a divine right under your nationality. There's certain laws that protect you. There's certain things that we'll do for each other once we come into our own. You have to understand the reason why you don't see mass amounts of Jewish kids being killed in the media, because Jews will organize and they control their political structure and they control their economics. They elect their officials. They elect the people in offices to look like them and to move their agenda into play. So we're not suffering from anything. We don't need anybody to do anything for us. We're not asking for handouts. No beggar nation can rise. We're not a beggar nation. We're a proud people. We stand on 5 principles, which are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So I would like to take this time out to have the opportunity to build with you. But I want to form a bond and a connection. So what we're doing is we're asking everybody to stop what you're doing right now. Pull out your Android. If you have an Android phone, go to Google Play and download the Moor TV app right now. There's going to be mass amounts of communication that is going to be sent out. We need to get more involved. We need to start becoming family again. We have to start building with each other. We have to be proactive. We can't be reactive. We can't wait for something like this to happen before we decide to organize. We are here for our people. Moorish Americans and Moors are here for our people. Okay, we're not going to continue to have these frivolous debates that serve no party. The black agenda is the Moorish agenda. We are one and the same. We're here to help and support our people. We're not against the politics. We're trying to organize and free our people. But we have to free them from what Harriet Tubman had already recognized, which is a mental slavery. The officers and the people dying across the country is not the problem. That is not the problem. No matter how much the mainstream media wants to project that on you. Because when you decide to do for yourself, that won't happen. That won't occur. The majority of the people in power who have studied our science, who have learning what's going on, they want you to believe that this is a physical war. This is not a physical war, family. Listen to what I'm telling you. There's a higher science that's taking place. Law governs everything. What you're seeing right now is not a physical war. Yes, it's spiritual, but most of it is when you come into your own. When you become who you're supposed to be, this version of this reality will cease to exist, because you will start to do for yourself. You'll start to do for yourself. We need to let them know that we're serious, family. If things aren't getting done, you pull your kids out of school. You build your own schools. You start organizing your own communities. You start sharing your food and growing your food. Don't go to their supermarkets. Don't go to their stores. If you really want to get serious and have a cause and really talk about real revolution, it starts with controlling your economics and your politics, family. And that's what we're lacking. And we can't do it as Negroes, blacks, and coloreds. There was someone in this country when people were still being hung who was electing officials. Noble Drew Ali came on the scene over 100 years ago. He elected officials. He put people in office. He got laws passed. He was nationalizing his people. He was making moves and doing things all over the country for our people. There's only one sole foundation for us to come through. We need to stop acting like we have to reinvent the wheel. It's already here. It's already set up. The only thing we have to do is come into our own. And we're going to start to take a more active approach. I'm asking all of my brothers and sisters to get more involved. I'm asking you guys, if they won't come and support the networks, then you guys have to push them to come and support. We need one platform, family. One platform. One. It doesn't have to be this network. It doesn't have to be. What we need to do is start to have our own communication. We have to start to be able to talk and do things with each other. We have to really start to understand what the Prophet had outlined for us to do, family. The time is now. There's never been a greater time. And I want to close out in the spirit of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. All over the world, our people are waking up, family. It's a beautiful thing. I want to remind our people to come back to love. In spite of what the media is being projected and what you're seeing on a mass news scale, come back to love and your peace. Never let anyone or anything corrupt your peace. It's a tragedy what happened, but there's love in everything, family. Man is not the body or the soul. Death is another form of life. We know that. But the time for us to organize is now. The time for us to come together now. Don't wait for another kid to be killed in order for you to come together. And it's beautiful because it's never been a time like this where we've had so many active NBA stars, NFL stars. At any given moment, we shut down the NFL. We shut down the NBA. And you go and you demand rights as any civilized people on the planet would do for themselves. But you do it under your own flag, your own nationality, your own creed. We have our own culture, family. Black is not a culture. We have our own culture, our own traditions, our own customs. All of this is what's been hidden from you. You need to understand who the Moors are and our contributions to this country. They tell you that the Constitution was framed and adopted, but they never tell you who or where it was framed and adopted from. You don't know about your history in this country, and every time they tell you something good about one of our people in this country, what do? They place a negative on it by telling you that's a black person. Oh, this black person helped George Washington. This black person was actually the first person to run when the Brits. No, these people were not black. There's no black land. There's no black country, so there never could have been a black people. These people are the descendants of the ancient people of this planet. These are the people they write about in their Bibles. These are the people they talk about in their movies. These are the people that they're constantly portraying you. Peoples. If that means that if you're not black, that means that they're not white. We have to stop playing these color games. People have nationality. We're Moorish Americans because we're descendants from Moroccans born in America. This is our land. We were already here, family. Peace. I came at you in love and I'll leave you with peace. I thank you for tuning in. We will now get started on your regularly program. You know, we'll cut into Moor TV Live. Thank you guys. Peace and love. Peace, man.
More real MCs, more love, more truth, peace to Drew Ali. We need that Now, why would a dictator do that? Why would he make his #1 priority when he took over as dictator to disarm the public? The Second Amendment is there, and it was put in there not for hunting and fishing like they like to say. It was put in there so the citizens would have the ability, if their government became oppressive, they could defend themselves against oppressive government. And I think that overrules all the gun deaths, because let's remember something. A gun is simply a tool. People kill people.
Surely we be ready once that war has gotten heavy. Kept them burners by the bevy. Turn that defense to confetti. Steady aiming where your children at. Damage where you building at. Annihilate you from the map. This is more than just a rap. Presidents crying over babies don't move me. But they've been killing babies worldwide, you can't fool me. Just another tactic to take us off our axis. That routine practice to keep us on snooze. Everyone's associated, I don't watch the news. Claiming I'm affiliated, I don't know them dudes. I just keep it front line, 12 gauge shot rhyme. Aim for the head, make sure the shoulder don't bruise. I choose freedom over cake and find royalties, even for the sake to integrate in popularity. Just for more clarity, you ain't really scaring me. It's really no surprise to anyone with open eyes to this. Demagogue, label you an outlaw. Confiscate your gun law, come into your crib then pinned up, got your family hemmed up. Even with your chin up, you can't feel your manhood. Slowly turn around and tell your family get down. No one make a sound and put your face into the ground. Anything said again, we pump that hot lead again. This is all American, take that. Simple question, we don't manufacture weapons. How we get them Smith & Wessons, how they circulate the hood. They bring them here in boats, mainly for the youth to totes and them pigs to get them yoked. We have a vigil, all good. But I'm from school of fist fights, jump you if you seem psych. Ruger AK just in case they want my birthright. Damn right, NRA is in the bed with government. Same aim, same damn name, same covenant. Media, working overtime to put the fear in ya. Church praying hard, but that blonde ain't really hearing ya. Area, a war zone for all the wrong reasons, and other countries killed for lacking water in their region. Squeezing, imitating Scarface and Al Capone. Time for battle and they'll be hiding till the smoke's gone. Had them dogs at your door like a 64. Hope he missed pointless, he never missed before. Demagogue, label you an outlaw. Confiscate your gun law, come into your crib then pinned up, got your family hemmed up. Even with your chin up, you can't feel your manhood. Slowly turn around and tell your family get down. No one make a sound and put your face into the ground. Anything said again, we pump that hot lead again. This is all American, take that. Plan for civil war, and if you ask me, the blueprint, mandatory weapon for the family. Candidly, Nat Turner burner most amicably. Make his soul go from the flow to the canopy. Some say I'm violent, and I should stay silent. Meanwhile, strip us of a right to defend ourselves, but my team keep the magazines clean with the hollow peas, red, black, and green bandanas on the shelves. Combat boots for the soldiers, all 12s. Comedic lexicon over prepaid cells. This is why they terrified, fear that we'll get unified. Realize the war is on us and break hell. And of course, they'll offer support when it's popping off. Give you proper transport, show you to the Holocaust. It's a siege outside, no man is safe from. You can hide, but you can't run. Mazel tov. Demagogue, label you an outlaw. Confiscate your gun law, come into your crib then pinned up, got your family hemmed up. Even with your chin up, you can't feel your manhood. Slowly turn around and tell your family get down. No one make a sound and put your face into the ground. Anything said again, we pump that hot lead again. This is all American, take that.
Black suits on the Secret Service. Black boots on the military troops and the heat is serving. Black masks when the team is lurking, and black crowbars when niggas stole cars, leaving their people hurting. Black diamonds on these rapper chains, and black pupils on the cats and caves digging on their master's slave. Black magic, black male ass backwards, couldn't get the position. They said he had a black accent. Black whip for the drive-bys, black text, black zip for the son, and mama got a black dress. African American pie was never apple. Ride on these soul samples like I'm on a pair of axles. Talking corporate status and sovereignty matters factual. Your perception is second to understanding the actual. Black separate you from being considered human. Without a tie to a nation, your history's now illusion. That's black. Black, what's black? Educate the people on black. Black, what's black? Yo. Brown like the faces of victims in Afghanistan. Brown like the Mexicans, Obama sending back again. Brown like the Indians, raising all the doctors. I'm brown like the richest of soil, wheat pasta. Brown like Jamaicans that'll never say they black. Like Moors, let opinion go and educate. In fact, I'm brown like Dogon figures in Shaka Zulu. Brown like a Haitian explaining and talking voodoo. Tan like sand in Egypt, Mali, Morocco. Brown like Cleveland, brown like Rollo. Brown so the government system I never follow. Cause I'm brown like the crowd at Apollo. I paint the picture from the ground, all the hollow bodies of black activists, hoping for equality, pushing this black back at us. Moreno, my people letting Negro die. Colored and African American, I see those lies. I'm not black. Black, what's black? I educate the people on black. Black, what's black? Black, the word it don't apply to me. Honestly, niggas rock blacked outfits, committing robberies, still using blacked out whips for driving Bowie heat. Black nines sit them in their final seat. Deaf when it's black skies, all of them plies as bad as usual. When we not robbing, we rocking black to the funerals. Doves get the love, not ravens and crows. Legend goes, look in their eyes, they taking your soul. I ain't a black male. Blackmail is something like extortion, and black widows are women that send their men in the coffins. Black magic is evil, the black plague was a tragedy. Guns on a black marker to let you arm up a cavalry. What's black? Black, 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 black.
Operation Rapper Inquisition, moving through the fakeness, hip-hop matrix vision. Back again in these bars, this is my prison. Walls of these pages with pen shanks I'm scribbling. No visits, lines on paper, concrete walls. My margin is my showers and my washroom stalls. End of the page is when I make parole. Force me to execute rappers, then throw me in the hole. So much soul, the MC, not confined. The elements of hip-hop today are not combined. Almost seeing the other side, gotta stay focused. Just gotta let that phone ring and don't lose focus. They can't try to hocus pocus, send rapping jokers with handbags, Gucci purses and chokers. Jeans, wrestler, spandex type, turning youths to robots. If you drink a Sprite, that's not what I say, that's what they do. Use rappers to sell you sneakers and Mountain Dew, flowing like a fountain dew. When you turn the lever, setting the bar for conscious MCs and rapping believers. Trapped with me in these bars, rappers begging for seizures. Hanging rappers with the strongest lines, squirm like leeches. Sentenced to the underground, no one hears their screams. Left right for the math for these black and yellow dreams. What happened to the MCs? Ask yourself. What happened to the DJ? Ask yourself. What happened to the grapher? Ask yourself. What happened to the dancer? Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself.
Check it. Let's open the book of hip-hop and make advances. My supreme knowledge of alchemical sciences only enhances my ability to drop metaphysical answers. When asked about the MC, the DJ, the grapher, the dancers, earth, air, fire, water, all being born to hip-hop. Study hard, you'll get that. Forget rap, cause it's not. The transformation from lead to go, from man to God, can be achieved through hip-hop. It's art, the planet's ours. The colors and tones symbols and archetypes will spark the light. Give your third eye a bird's eye, restore the loss of sight. You already lost the fight whenever I come across the mic, because you're dealing with God and you can never exhaust the light. We making the shift from hip hop to God hop. It's the return of the ancient ones and we coming non-stop. So when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So I'm here, straight from the boogie down, so have no fear.
What happened to the MCs? Ask yourself. What happened to the DJ? Ask yourself. What happened to the grapher? Ask yourself. What happened to the dancer? Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself. It's only in the underground, unseen but heard. Oracles, words, and metaphoric slurs. Riding on to soothe the savage beat tones. Paparazzi taking pictures, talking on the phone. Pictures tell 1,000 words. Bus drivers on camera, reading or sleeping while driving on camera. He might even be hammered. It's not even lunch yet. Didn't have breakfast, clock not even punch yet. Send that to the news and post on YouTube. Hits some people get are in the thousands, not few. Charge $1, make $1 million. Set up a website and PayPal, make a killing. Right, psych, that's all just hype. I'm on the streets bringing youths from darkness to light. I'm in their courts, not playing ball but schooling them crossover thoughts. It's not training camp like October sports. Season's been started. Sam's goons shoot shadow targets. Got them thinking it's the shoes when they're the market. Got them thinking it's the booze and blunts you smoke. Got them thinking magazine monthly hip-hop quotes have the best lines. They can't test time. Rappers gets awards for MC best albums and best rhymes. I was the brush carrier with fades and waves. Didn't know that hairstyle was from the ancient days. Me doing the work for the Amazon matriarchal. Rapping hip-hop today is so patriarchal. Female MCs on the mic are probably no 6. The game is like church and demigods, no woman on pulpits. We have to say what we must, sow some seeds so we can grow strong trees with the bedsheet leaves. Deadbeat seas, most navigate with flows. I flow on papyrus beat boats as I write these scrolls. Bringing back the hip-hop's constitutional fold. Even mics can't escape, catch a bruise when I hold. My paper trails leave them, soothe when I owe. Apply more science, never get booed when I flow. Cushion pen, not the kush when you see I blow. Flow for right years when my 3 eyes glow. And head and rapper inquisition. Pen mighty and the swords not even on ink we missing. What happened to the MCs? Ask yourself. What happened to the DJ? Ask yourself. What happened to the grapher? Ask yourself. What happened to the dancer? Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself.
A God body manifested in the flesh, I must confess it. I declare my nationality the best, you can't contest it. We paid our karma, the gods are back. The Moors are strapped, we waking up. And we want our land back, running off at the trap. You know them gods don't like that. Waking up from a nap, like where the hell my crown at? Take a step back, like I know this bitch ain't bite back. It's kinda crazy how this is for my this is for my weirdos, my rebels, my third-eye gang. My no kids who are afraid to do their thing. Even if the struggle so forever be that name. Yeah, so forever.
Now, Vintage Fuck is not just a clothing line, it's a movement for weirdos only. So, if you're that kid that sits in the back of the class, no, not you, you. If that's you and you feel like something is just not right, that information is really not going to help you, you're probably a vintage fuck. Or maybe you sit in the front of the class, but you still know that something is wrong. Or maybe you're the parent that actually lets their child go to the grocery store in that Ninja Turtle costume. You gotta be in a vintage fuck state of mind to do that, to step outside of the box. Not only do you step outside of the box, you actually know that there is no box. Then you must be vintage fuck. It's for weirdos. This is for the unicorns, the magicians, the rebels. How can you be a rebel? I mean, it doesn't mean you have to be outside protesting or marching or things like that. But like the mere act of being a business owner is a rebellion in itself, because you're not being a consumer. You're not being what they trained you to be. through the public food system. You are vintage.
One of the things we looked at last year was the amount of documentation that were filed in the courts or posted online, most of which had nothing to do with the MST of A. There has been some attempts made by the mainstream media and journalists alike to link the MST of A with the sovereign citizens movement. Moorish Americans are not sovereign citizens. We had a Moorish American who was detained for doing nothing more than giving his religious title and ID. However, the officer was untrained and made an unlawful arrest of failure to ID. We worked with that Moorish American's temple to get him released immediately. Moorish Shield not only works with fixing these issues at the court level, but we are also working with city officials and municipalities to get police officers the proper training and familiarity with the law-abiding Moorish American organizations. Moorish Americans are not African American or black. They are United States of America citizens who have a right to freedom of religion.
As a former attorney, one of the things I've come to realize is there are Moorish American city officials, Moorish American law enforcement officers, Moorish Americans who fight and serve this country. So we have to understand the majority of Moorish Americans are law-abiding United States of America citizens, with the protection under the Constitution to practice religion as they see fit. In 2010, President Obama signed on to the rights of indigenous people. Many Moorish Americans are indigenous to America. So what Moorish Shield does is it helps to notify law enforcement magistrates and judges about Moorish Americans. Going into 2015 to 2016, we will continue to work with government and city officials, as well as the Secretary of State office, to assure that all Moorish Americans' rights are protected.
We need that more TV, more